I'm gonna just wait 1 more minute and then I'm gonna start us. Oh, while we do wait though, I did. What do you want your back tattoo to be of? Hi, Jackie. We're talking about tattoos in here. Okay, so I did want us to talk, show y'all something because last live I mentioned there were different herbs that you could cleanse with, and oh, your family tree, um, that's deep. And I wanted to just point them out because I finally gathered some. That's not really a cleanse on. I showed y'all the go away. There's copal, the actual resin incense. I'm sure y'all have heard of copal. Um, then there's lay. Think y'all should have heard of that too. But I wanted to show y'all open mouth. Open mouth is another one of my favorites. It comes in the crush kind and it comes in the whole kind. I'm not a drug dealer. It looks like drugs, but it's not drugs. So this is what open mouth looks like when it's not crushed. It's a herb that you can use for cleansing. And I'm gonna, for those who are like fully paid for the cohort that's starting, I'm gonna send some of this in the choose what herbs I'm gonna send to people, but it comes in the cohort little package thing. But yeah. So I love herbs and stuff. So anyway, what y'all talking about? Check mark. No, it really does. When she came in, I was like, "Hi, Jackie." I couldn't even say, "Hey, girl." It was uncomfortable. But it's a resin or like a dried herb. I'm not sure of these herbs come from, most of them come from Africa. I have the information card. I'll put it in the subscriber chat after this to give you the information on it. I also have some of it on my site for sale if anyone's interested. But like I said before, there'll be freebies for those who have signed up for the cohort. But today we're going to be talking about perfection and um all of that jazz. So let me give a nice segue. So perfection, right? I started off naming this my name of my Substack in the beginning was the Imperfect Scribe. It was not the 13th letter. And the Imperfect Scribe because I was always known on Instagram, on all social media as Alchemist Oracle Scribe. Always. That was my whole thing for like years and years now. But like when I left the cult that I was in, I was trying to be, hey mama, I was trying to be oh thank you. Thank you, Lazy and Golden. Do you? I'm not gonna call you by your real name. I don't wanna ask you what your real name is. Um, I'm just gonna call you Golden because I don't wanna call you Lazy. But when I left the cult though, it was always about talking about integrity and talking about what it means to be integral, right? And a lot of times what I've realized is that people weaponize integrity and they call it perfection instead, by using the word perfection. And so I came to realize when I was using my name, when I wrote my name, I really called my name the Imperfect Scribe out of fear because I was afraid that they would be watching me and looking at me and being like, she ain't got no business doing this, she ain't got no business doing that, and judging. And I was like, okay, well, if I claim imperfection, nobody can judge me because I already said I'm the Imperfect Scribe, so I can't be perfect, right? And so after a while, though, when I was writing and I was writing and I was writing, imperfection didn't resonate with me so much because I realized that I'm a divine being and that like living and doing things the way I'm doing it, I was never meant to be perfect, and that the way I'm doing things is already actually perfect in the way that I'm meant to be living. Meaning that the trials and tribulations that we go through, the mistakes, quote unquote mistakes that we make, we're meant to kind of make those mistakes to like better ourselves as we go along our journey. It's like literally a part of our process towards our reclaiming our divinity. So I changed my name a couple times after that. I then named it after one of my grandmothers for a very brief moment, like literally for a week. And then I was like, the 13th letter suits me better because that's me. And December CM is the 13th letter. My mom was born on the 13th, February 13th. Like I was born on a full moon. There's 13 full moon cycles in a year. Like the 13th letter is just me. Like I can't get away from that. So I said all that to say is that there's no such thing as there's a such thing as perfect, but we are already that. And what we really need to be striving for and towards when it comes to being spiritual or when it comes to just living a life is integrity. Um And here's one thing I do want to share now about perfection. I'm just going to read the definition. It says a quality, thank you. It says a quality, endowment, or acquirement completely excellent, an ideal faultlessness, especially the divine attribute of complete excellence. To perfection in the highest degree of excellence, perfection, as to imitate a model to perfection. So, with that being said, I was like, all right, cool. Then what does integrity mean? Um, Integrity means a moral soundness, honesty, freedom from corruption, influence, or motive, used especially with reference to the fulfillment of contracts, the discharge of agencies, trust, and the like, uprightness, rectitude. Integrity and spiritual integrity, especially, is what I strive for. It's what I even if I'm quote unquote wrong, even if I make a mistake, I love to go back and have a conversation. It's like, oh, okay, well then let's resolve this in some type of way. I love the opportunity. Everybody has a right to be like, no, I don't want to, and that's cool. But at least I, in my honoring my divinity, honoring my spiritual beingness, honoring my integrity, I'm at least going to make effort for it. And so I want to ask y'all, what comes to y'all's mind when y'all hear the word perfection or integrity? Just like write stuff down in the chat. Like, what comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is. Integrity is that's literally my definition, doing the right thing even when no one is watching. And perfection is definitely an ideology in colonialism. And one of the things that I wrote down is actually integrity is character. Perfection made me think of professionalism. I mean, being that it is a colonized construct, professionalism is extremely colonized, so that doesn't shock me. And one of the things I'm going to be breaking down too in the cohort is the colonized mindset and how it ruins us from being spiritual. And perfection is a thing that I'm going to hint at, and I'm going to read to you what it says in one of the documents when it comes to perfection. Side note, never mind, I'm not gonna say that. um, you're fixed on what is wrong. Perfectionism word in my lexicon. Mistakes are seen as personal, shameful. There's little reflection when things go wrong, and it's hard to learn from mistakes. That's what there's this article called White Supremacy Culture. And in it breaks down different things like perfection. It breaks down either or mindset. It breaks down this fixture on a written word because some people don't believe things unless it's written down. It breaks down all of those things. And so I really, really love how they broke down perfection because for me, when I first started my journey, I was really fixed on perfection. Like before I decolonized my mind, this is how perfection showed up in me. Like I had to know everything. I felt like if I didn't know everything, I couldn't speak on it, and I didn't want to say anything about it. If I didn't feel like I had to read every single thing before I could make a comment on the subject. Post cult, my whole perfection looked like what the kind of cult leader made it seem. Like we had to look this way, we had to talk this way, we had to present ourselves to be this way. Like it was all of these things. Like I came in the cult with septum piercings everywhere, and out of it, it was like throughout the process, I lost a lot of parts of myself, right? And so that's also why this year I chose the word wholeness. Last year, my word was enough because I just had enough of it, a lot of stuff. And I left the cult there. Didn't know I was going to do that, but that happened. The job was a lot. Like I was completely burnt out because I was overachiever. And when you're overachiever, you're rewarded at work by cleaning up everybody else's mess, not by, like, being like, "Okay, well, promotions or this, that." It's like, "Nope, you did that, so here, everybody else's mess you gotta clean up." And so I was just tired, and I just had enough. And all of that stuff came into fruition. And so now I'm like, "All right, I had enough. I feel like I let go of a lot of stuff. I need to reclaim some things now though." And wholeness is the word I chose for this year. And I wasn't even thinking about the fact that it was connected to integrity. It just naturally, when I was writing out this thing, I was like, this is wholeness. Because integrity is like you have to embody a whole of something. And it doesn't mean all pieces of the part are perfect or right, but the wholeness makes it righteous. And because I am owning all parts of myself, regardless if anybody may like it, regardless if it's perfect or not, regardless if it's right or not, I'm owning it and I can own it in integrity. Like it's a part of my wholeness. It would be lack of integrity for me to try to keep it in my shadows and not look at it, not address it, and just let it sit there. I think of perfection as an illusion because there's always room for improvement. Very, very true. Very, very true. So, yeah. So, I want to ask y'all, like, in what ways do you enforce or like attempt to enforce a sense of perfection on yourself? If you do at all, like, in what ways might it look, might it show up for you? You know, in what ways do you go about your journey? Like, I got to do it this way, or I have to show up this way. If it does, I'm gonna let us think for like 2 seconds. For me, I had a moment today where I realized I felt like I couldn't be myself fully on Substack. Like I was like on Threads, I kind of give people my full personality. On Substack, I felt like I couldn't. Um, and I realized that was a part of me not embracing my wholeness. Mm-hmm. That's funny because and that's why I think Misha hit the nail on the head. For me, it showed up in romantic relationships with how I viewed what love or romantic relationships should be. That's why I think Misha hit the nail on the head when she said perfection reminds me of professionalism because when I was having a church, it showed up for me trying to be a good Christian. Because when I was in the cult, she would say a lot of things like, she used to smoke. I wasn't a smoker, but she stopped smoking. She started doing a lot of things, and then she started, um, hating her tattoos, and she tried to make me hate mine as well, and I was like, "I don't hate mine." Um, and that was a thing. 2 was a thing of, like, calling people ghetto, and for me, it's like, you can't be she was Black, obviously, um, but it's like, why are we naming people ghetto because they talk a certain way? And she's Southern. She didn't grow up rich or anything. We both went to Spelman. That's probably, like, the richest thing we've ever done. But, besides that, I didn't understand it. And I would say things sometimes, like, I would say things like, "I gotta go to work, I gotta get these coins." And there will always be a judgment there. So, like, for me, too, in the way I spoke, I began to, like, question, like, "Okay, let me not say stuff like that because I don't wanna da 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 da." And it was like, that's stupid. Like, I don't have a hatred for myself and who I am and how I gotta show up, so let me just show up. I do it at work. I want to do things efficiently, and I care too much about a company that I don't even own. Ooh, child, that was my truth. Oh my goodness. That's literally why I had to that was the catapult for me going into don't go as far as I had to go. I had to literally go into PHP to heal from my burnout. Do that process. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna survive this. I'm gonna keep having to go to PHP, partial hospitalization program, keep having to do these types of things because I'm also in a cult and I'm not real about that. That working for a company and doing things like that is gonna it's never gonna be healthy for you and it's never gonna bring you wholeness. Because you're not it's like, 1, you don't own it. 2, oftentimes the companies that we're working for, the work that we're doing, it's not even filling our spirit. Like, it really isn't. So, I said, we have to work, we have to do things that make us money, but don't lose ourselves in it, right? Let's learn to create healthy boundaries. I think also being a yoga instructor, people expect me to always show up as love and light. That was one of my that was one of my pet peeves of yoga instructors because they always seem so happy and chipper. I was like, "Why are these people always happy? Do they not ever get angry?" But no, that's real. I think that people don't, honor the harmony that lives within us all. They are faking it. And that's what could feel on, I could pick up on. But, I hate the fact that though you feel like you have to or like it's an expectation for you to look that way or to be that way. So, but yeah. That's funny. So, Misha goes live I'm not sure if you know it or not, but she goes live every Sunday at 9 CST. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, for her subscribers. And she also has, a YouTube channel, and she has personal offerings as well, like, if you want your own personal sessions, she has. So, yeah. Um, but, yes, I'm going to read I'm not sure if y'all are familiar of him. His name is Jack O'Keefe. You're welcome. And he wrote a book called How to Be a Spiritual Rebel. Spoiler alert, I did not read the book. But he has this article on called What is Spiritual Integrity? And I'm gonna read a part of it right now. And we'll discuss it momentarily. It says spiritual integrity. Oh, were you there, Golden? Stop saying lazy and golden. Golden. Spiritual integrity is the combination of a state and a quality. Spiritual integrity is the state of being undivided together with the quality of brutal self-honesty. It demands a considerable depth of self-awareness and an uncompromising willingness to be authentic. The first step to cultivating spiritual integrity is to recognize that we are not always honest. We aren't honest when we control our actions in order to micromanage another's reaction. I really like that. We aren't honest when we control our actions in order to micromanage another's actions. We aren't honest when we have a personal agenda that modifies how we show up. We aren't honest when we have a personal agenda that modifies how we show up. We have an inner split. You know how people like, I hate ass kissers? I thought about ass kissers when I read that part. And with the first part, never mind, let me just read it. We aren't honest when we have a personal agenda that modifies how we show up. We have an inner split. What we would or could do is derailed by a need to control either a situation, others, or ourselves. Fragmentation, dividedness happens within us. We are out of integrity. We compromise inner wisdom and what would otherwise organically flow from within us. We choose to present a reactive, self-serving, often manipulative alternative. When we recognize this, can only happen in the absence of self-honesty, we can begin to do something about it. Yes, the word authenticity came up for me when I read that as well. Showing up authentically attracts the right people to me. I do me and let everyone else adjust. Usher. Um, I posted in a subscriber chat this AM about like reflect on ways in which we lie to ourselves and how it threatens how we show up for ourselves. Something along those lines. And then here, when I read, we aren't honest when we control our actions in order to micromanage another's reactions. Authenticity is alignment. I like that, Sean. I like that a lot. I wonder, like, how often do you notice yourself in conversation with someone and you know that if you say something in a certain way, they may react a certain way. So you alter your authentic self so that they may not react that way? Or who in here temperature checks people? You know what I mean by temperature check? Like, instead of being like, "Hey, how you doing? I noticed this, blah, blah, blah." You be like, you may just try to say something to see how they're feeling instead of just being authentic and being like, "Yo, does anybody" I am always reading the room, LOL. Well, reading the room I don't think is inauthentic in itself. If you alter the way you show up in the room based off of what you read, then maybe. My brother is a Gemini. I have to temperature check always with him. No, I like to come in hot. But I don't beat around the bush. Jackie, I'm too blunt for all that. I gotta know which twin I'm dealing with. That's real. Same, Misha. That is very real. Is that Capricorn? I was gonna ask if that was the Capricorn in y'all. Um, that's very real. Um, that's real. In what ways have you noticed anyone temperature checking you though? And how did you respond? I mean, golden with your brother, have you ever like had a conversation with him to be like, you a little bit too for me? Flippy floppy? Sure. Caps are straight shooters. See what I did there? Jackie, you probably get a lot of this. We are honest when we have a personal agenda that modifies how we show up. You'll probably get a lot of people who do that because you're famous. People do that to famous people. People do it all the time to you and it triggers you. I feel you. That would be triggering. Always people typically say, "I can't read you." Meanwhile, I never gave consent for a reading. That is real. That is real. Your brother's your best friend. Um, yeah, people do that to me because they say I'm hard to read. That's real. That's real. I think I experienced that too from people. I also think that I also sometimes think though that people read me wrong and they address me very interestingly. Like, I think for a lot of people, I look like a pushover. Um, so I get a lot of that when they attempt to read me. I give him grace I would never give others, but for us to grow, I need to stop. Yeah, I was gonna say that, Golden. Um, because you have to show up authentically in that relationship so you can grow. Yeah. And it'll help him to grow as well. Like it'll be if he wants to grow. And then you have to learn it. See if you're going to be detached on if he detached from his response. Like if he decides to grow or not. Yeah, like I sometimes use it to my advantage when people view me a certain way. Um, it depends on if I'm balanced, because sometimes I could be in my angry mode and everything gets I flip the tables. But I'm going to read another part of this. Being in a s Being in spiritual integrity requires us to be acutely aware of and responsible for our needs. If we are not aware of our own needs, we can't meet them, and our neediness will bleed into our actions. We are fragmented and not in alignment with what is our authentic voice and presence. Spiritual integrity requires us to unconditionally love and respect ourselves. In this way, we become more autonomous, self sufficient, and confident. We gain maturity when we stop playing games with our internal spiritual integrity. hmm We gain maturity when we stop playing games with our internal self. We cease fragmenting. We are open, honest, vulnerable, available, humble, and reliable. When we are in spiritual integrity, we are naturally willing to support our personal and human evolution. We are motivated to become better versions of ourselves. We are drawn to learning and growth. We are curious about others' points of views. We are open to diversity. A commitment to ongoing self awareness with brutal honesty ensures that we take responsibility for our psychological blind spots. Here lies our primary potential for growth. So, what are your needs, your deservings? Are you in tune with what you need to give to yourself to maintain your spiritual integrity, to maintain your authenticity? Mm. I want to be the chaos agent in my family so we can break this generation. That's the way to be. Misha, I feel you. I need to be creative. I love the honesty. Um, I definitely feel you though. And I have to hop on the meeting with the vendor here in Oakland. Dr. Chris. I'll see you. I need to take a sip of water. It's just okay. Okay. That's real. I think about that. I forget the name of the pyramid. But that pyramid of our needs that the psychology people use and, the money and all of that is there. No, I really do need it by tomorrow. The latest Friday. No exaggeration. Um, journaling and drawing. Do you have a schedule for it? I, make effort to journal every AM and PM. That helps. And I have a routine with my father that I draw, with him, or sketch with him, I should say. It is a creativity and emotions go hand in hand, so I love the fact that you do that. Yeah, Maslow hierarchy of needs, there you go. Beautiful, beautiful golden. Yeah, and the Haslow of needs, so it's difficult to sometimes think about your, other needs if your primary needs are not met. Um, and yeah, I love the fact that that's your everyday routine. Look at you. I know, right? Oh, that was funny. Um, what are y'all's desires? Like, what do you desire for yourself that's a part of your authentic makeup? That will be a part, or okay, let me rephrase that. Everybody has a vision for their lives, even though we might not necessarily know how we're going to get there or where we may necessarily be going. But like, what do we desire for ourselves for us to be authentic in that new version of us? Freedom and independence. I resonate with that. Freedom is very important for me as well. Stability is very important for me as well. I was talking to my spiritual guides. I'm like, listen, I've been on a path of instability for a very long time. Like, even spiritually, like, because, in each share we get readings. Like, it'll even come up then. And I'm like, listen, well, y'all say to do this work, and I'm doing this work. When is it happening? Um, Stability is very important. I'm learning to be patient in the process, though, because I do know, and I can feel it in my heart that I am getting ready and prepared for where I'm headed. Um, and I'm doing the work I feel to be ready for that newness, so that I can stand in where I'm headed in my authentic self, so I can be integrity. Won't they? Patience, Lord. Ooh, child. When the Bible says patience is a virtue, I was like, listen, what type of virtue? I desire deep connections. Yes, too many surface connections in my life. But I see where I'm not requiring that of those around me. So making changes, yes, yes. Be the change you want to see, as they say. That patience lesson is hard when I feel like I'm in it right now. Yeah, when you're in it, it's very, very difficult when you're in it. And when you're in it, it's difficult to see if any progress has been made. Like, I've literally, sometimes on the low moments, I have to remind myself of the things people have said, like good things that people have said about, like, what maybe work I've done or whatever may have happened. Like, all right, I'm on the right path. Relax. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really talk to nobody. Um, I talk to y'all. besides y'all in my life after the cult, this finna be TMI. If I talk too much about it, let me know. But like we it was very close knit, obviously, right? And so you talk to them, hey Dr. Leah, you talk to them all the time. And those are like deep connection bonds. Is it toxic? Was it toxic? Absolutely. Um yeah. Yeah. Was it toxic? Absolutely. But when I left, I realized, okay, wait a minute. There are no people that I can really talk to about every single thing. And or go deep in the ways that I was going deep about them. Because I don't necessarily believe you need to talk to people about every single thing. But there's no depth. Even in my relationships from the other people that I knew from my college years, I don't watch television. They watch TV, so they talk about reality TV. I could care less what's happening on reality TV. There are just things that they do that I don't do. And until they're in another part of their lives, they're like married, like their version of success is marriage, children, that boom, boom, boom. And it's worked out in their life for them like that. For me, I'm like, woo-hoo, hoo-hoo. Yes, it's gonna happen, but I'm in alignment with spirit. And my main focus is spirit first and my development first and me evolving into the spiritual being I want to be first. And I'm trusting that all of those things are coming to me as a result of that. So have anybody to talk to about those deep conversations, those deep things, I don't really have. Hence why we're here. Saying there are certain people I talk to about certain things. Yep. Um, so yeah, I think that, and that's why too, I think it's important to understand that community is going to look different. It's not going to necessarily look like what we thought it looked when we were younger. Because so much has changed since we were young. Like we used to go outside, you know. Now it's dangerous to go outside. So it's those things that we want to be aware of. Um, I love getting deep with y'all. Yes, I love getting deep with y'all too. I love the conversations we have. We need this type of conversations. Not everyone would get it, and that's okay. But finding those that do, nothing like it. That is very true. That is very, very, very true. That's true. And it's invaluable thing. So that's why I'm like always finding your circle of people, your tribe, if you will, it's important. See, that Capricorn in me just won't let her say love without a fight. But I'm gonna read this last part. And this last part is like the signs when you're living in your spiritual integrity. When we are in spiritual integrity, when we are in spiritual integrity, we can apologize with ease and commit to doing and being better. We are naturally kind and confident. We do the right thing, not for approval because is expected or a learned habit, but because our direction comes from an inner state of authenticity. We are internally undivided. Self-honesty helps us to relax in mind and body because there is no game playing and personal agendas. See, he keeps saying we are internally undivided. It's really an emphasis on the wholeness. And the importance of being whole. There is no fear of being caught out, no sense of being a fraud or fake. We don't doubt ourselves, yet we are not arrogant because we are open to constant revision and improvement. We are responsible and don't make excuses for ourselves. We are fluid within because we know that we honor our authentic self with confidence, while we are willing to revise and learn more. When we are in spiritual integrity, we are embracing the author says humanity. I'm going to say divinity. So when we are in spiritual integrity, we are embracing our divinity. We are at our best. We are whole and in alignment with an inner wisdom that we all have access to if we choose to listen to it. Being in spiritual integrity requires us to learn the skill of discernment so that our minds grow quiet enough for us to hear its direction. Next, we need to cultivate courage to follow through on what naturally flows from within us. Our minds can masquerade as our protector. It will always have a controlling agenda. As we mature, we can set it aside and align with what originates from deeper within us. With spiritual integrity, we show up and participate with humility and discretion. There is ease, and we are in sync with being divine. He says, with being human. It can be said that we it could be said that then we operate from the heart. With the cultivation of spiritual integrity, the world will be a better place because spiritual integrity insists that we unleash our innate capacity to be truly kind people. This is a good dialogue. Can't wait to dive deeper in the cohort. Yes, I look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Lord, for this. It was a form. I gotta go. Peace, Golden. Thank you for coming. Okay, so when you hear me say those things, hear these words, do you notice any of yourself in them? Like, do you see how you may already be living and walking in your spiritual integrity? Oh, goodness. Should. Yeah, you do have a Sag rising. I don't have any fire in my main placements on tropical and sidereal or sidereal. They say I'm a Leo moon and I just don't see it for myself. And tropical, I'm a Virgo moon, and that just makes more sense. What have you noticed specifically, Sean? Hmm. That's a good thing to point out, Dr. Aaliyah. And that's one thing too I noticed. Like if I'm off, if I'm not being inauthentic in any way, something in me that's not gonna feel settled. And I gotta ask myself, like I will literally go a bit mental and I'd be like, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah. Honesty, like dishonesty really does show up viscerally for me mentally. And it doesn't mean like dishonesty, like I told a lie. It could be like dishonesty is like I'm not being real with myself or to another person that I'm feeling a way about something. And I should probably talk about it with them instead of driving myself crazy. I notice how my intuition and discernment has gotten better. People and circumstances are more aligned. That shit. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I love that too. Like that, and that will happen with spiritual integrity. You do get the people to come in, um, and they just show up, they appear. It's like, "Oh, I wasn't even trying to do that," or, "I didn't know that that was even gonna happen." Like, like, I didn't know Golden was gonna be like, "I wanna, you know, do the cohort now." By the way, if y'all don't have funds for cohort, you can't and you wanna be a part of it, let me know. You may not get the spiritual package that's coming with those who are able to pay in full, but if money is an issue, don't let it be a reason why you don't join. I wanna reiterate that because I do want it to have a space for, people who are interested in the work, doing the work, because 'cause we're gonna get deep, deep. Like, we're doing some body stuff, some stuff, and, if you're interested in doing it, I want you to be a part of it. Hi, Jackie. I'm sorry, I had to. I'm also more observant and catching things Also more observant and catching things before they become potential problems themselves. Mhm. Because when you're honest with yourself, you can see the things. You don't have that veil of that lie that's there clogging your mind, and it's like, "Oh, I noticed that." That's true. Honesty and authentic living does increase the intuitive nature. Wait, you got a didn't you? Yay! Yes, we have to hype Jackie up, but we have to. Yeah, it does. It does. Lies and things like that. First of all, it's self-inflicted. We're putting it on ourselves, and we're allowing for ourselves to become more dull. It's not a elevating element. Lying is. So yeah, I wanted to ask. I'm trying to get used to it. When love comes my way, I embrace it. Shows information, pull it home. Mhm. 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 I like that. I like that. I want us to do something right now. I want us to write that, like, in the chat, an uncomfortable truth, a good uncomfortable truth about yourself that you want to share in this chat. And I want us to do this to practice our authenticity, because I know for me, I can be very authentic where I'm naming out my faults or my flaws. Like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to be more da 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 da. But I can be very not so eager to name an uncomfortable truth about where I'm good or where I may excel. So in the chat, publicly open for all to see, name an uncomfortable truth that feels uncomfortable to you about something, about a good aspect of yourself. Let me think too. I am a great healer. Dr. Leah Zamani. I am a great healer. Did you hear the question, Misha? I said in the chat, write down an uncomfortable truth about yourself that is positive. That's good. Because for me, I'm really good at naming my negative uncomfortable truths, like things I need to work at to be better at. But what about the things that you're already are good at? Put the people pleasers and the adapters to death. I share mama. We shall. And that Delia shared hers. She says, I am a great healer. I really need to think about. Um, Misha, I'm good at remembering. Jackie Verbal, I am. My uncomfortable truth is my natural gifts. I feel that I have to work hard to be recognized and valued. Hmm. Misha Alexandria. Remembering what people tell me specifically. I'm good at remembering what people tell me specifically. Sean Taylor, I'm good at seeing and knowing. Jackie, are you saying is this an uncomfortable truth that's uncomfortable for you? I feel like you answered it right. I feel like you answered it right. Yeah. It's hard for me too. I don't know why I asked that question because now I gotta come up with the answer. Um, yes, me too. Me too. My uncomfortable truth is that I'm sorry. But the question popped up in my mind as we were talking. So yeah. Um, yeah. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Like I'm always focusing on where I can grow, be better at. I think my uncomfortable truth for me, I know my uncomfortable truth for me is something I'm good at is providing a good medicine for someone. Like I'm good at noticing a problem and providing a great solution. So I think that that's for me. Like I've noticed that in my gifts so far as I've been sharing them, because I oftentimes feel like I need so much, but it's like, no, I've seen a lot of progress from people, and it's been very, very affirming, life affirming for me. You are the accountability guy. I thought she was frozen when she paused. No. Overlook the good when we're always looking to improve. Mhm. I was about to I don't know, I was about to, pause. It was interesting. It was an interesting experience because I was feeling I was feeling like I was about to say it, and then I felt like my throat chakra, I was like, "Wait a minute. We're not finna do that. We're not finna let's get out of that. We're doing some in the moment healing, in the moment alchemizing." That is hilarious. But um, so that is really all that I have for tonight. I do appreciate all of y'all for coming in and tuning in. um, as always, I will be Sundays, usually at 12, but next Sunday is gonna be at 10:30 CST. We're gonna be doing the new moon reading followed by the sound healing. And that's only because it's Sunday. Any other time it's a new moon or full moon, I'll go live, but you won't get sound healing too. Just want to put that out there. You'll get the reading in full, you'll get the reflection questions that we do, but it won't be everything all at once. And remember there's a cohort going on. Do not let money be the reason you don't join. Please do. Please do reach out to me. I really would like to and will be interested in working with all of y'all and getting to know y'all more. Like, comment, subscribe. This is not YouTube, so I won't say that. And I love y'all so much. Peace. You're welcome.